author, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
On a long, lonesome highway east of Omaha, listen to the
2 years ago, the Bilderberg Group, we got the leak that they were going to have oil at $200 a barrel within 3 years. That gives them about a year to get that job done. And here is the AP headline today. OPEC president sees $200 oil per barrel. That's actually out of Reuters. Warren Buffett says recession may be worse than feared. This is all a shearing process. Jim Mars, your analysis on what's happening with this three-way race. I mean, no doubt all three candidates are owned by the same people. Who do you think they're gunning to put in, or does it even matter?
Well, we only have one true choice in this election because Barack Obama, his chief advisor, is Zygmunt Brzezinski and his son, Trilateral Commission, New World Order. Behind Hillary Clinton, of course, is the Bilderbergers, New World Order, and Council on Foreign Relations members. And behind John McCain is Henry Kissinger, for God's sakes, the architect of our foreign policy, which has gotten us into the mess that we're in today. So, your only true choice in this election is to vote for either one of those three, in which case you get the New World Order and the North American Union, more loss of liberty, more chipping and computerized surveillance, or you can vote for Ron Paul, who's still in the running and who is actually talking about what most Americans would agree to, which is enforcing the immigration laws, enforcing the border laws, looking and investigating the Federal Reserve System, which is a private banking system, and less interference with government, and using our military for its original design purpose, which is to defend the country. But, of course, nobody gets to hear this because the New World Order people own and control the 5 corporations that control the media. And when I say media, it's not just the news. Alex, as you well know, it controls publishing, billboards, magazines, CDs, music, you name it. It's all controlled by one of these 5 corporations.
And if you wonder about unification, an example of that is the NFL, you know, all these supposed conservative mainline things, pushing global warming, pushing global taxes, pushing, you know, this world system. They know what they're doing, and they are unified. You know, I'm worried if Barack Obama gets elected that they're going to kill him, and then we're going to have riots all over this country, which they'll use as an excuse to bring in martial law. McCain is totally insane. Bomb, 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 Iran. And what Newt Gingrich said 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, what others have said, is it's going to be a Hillary/Obama ticket, and that, you know, of course, he's evil, CFR, a Bilderberg Group as well, but they like to brag beforehand, and that's what I see happening. And I've always said Hillary, even though people have always thought it was going to be Obama, and maybe I'm going to be wrong, but that's what the insiders have said. And notice she just keeps hanging in there, or Obama gets in and they kill him. I know he's New World Order, but still, folks, it's just the whole thing stinks to high heaven. And, of course, Hillary and Obama want socialized health care, which is the government controlling your health care and making you take drugs, making you take injections. People who are for socialized health care don't think of that. You know, Hitler had socialized health care. But, you know, McCain is even leaning towards more taxes and socialized health care. But that's the only one plus for McCain, is that he at least has not openly said he wants socialized health care.
Well, yeah, but am I the only one that's concerned that if McCain gets elected, that we have a president with his finger on the nuclear trigger who for 5.5 years was in the hands of Soviet mind control experts? Talk about your Manchurian candidate by his own admission. While he was captive, they worked on him. He told them secrets. He told them military secrets. He gave up everything. And the story that strikes me, Alex, is, I don't know if you saw this, there was an article in a Florida newspaper where they were interviewing a former Castro journalist who, during Vietnam, had gone over to Hanoi and decided he wanted to interview the son of the admiral that was in charge over there, John McCain. And so he conducted an interview with John McCain, but according to this story, the interview was not conducted in the Hanoi Hilton, the prison. It was conducted in a lavish downtown hotel. So McCain was getting some extraordinary treatment there, and according to the documents now coming out of the old Soviet Union, they sent Russian mind control experts.
Stay there. Let's come back and talk about the Manchurian Candidate. Oh, I would never vote for McCain. I'm not saying he's good. They're all evil. We'll be right back. The elephant running over us that's in our face.
Well, what's interesting to me is most of those communication satellites have all been paid for by us to begin with. There was a New York company that was put up 33 satellites or whatever,
Iridium,
using government contracts, and then declared bankruptcy or went broke or whatever, turned them all over to the government. And now the government tells us what, controls, what goes on those feeds.
But, I mean, the COINTELPRO, and they're not all COINTELPRO, some aren't, but the stuff they do, the way they manipulate, and again, it's not about me being criticized, it's that our movement spends so much of its time ninnying or talking about who they like or who the best is, or this is not a beauty pageant. This is a red level crisis. We're in the frontline ditches here.
Right, and it's coming to an apex. It's good, pretty quickly. It's going to be: do we all go to our knees, or do we stand up for freedom?
Jim, what are the subjects in the time we've got left you think are most important? Before you leave, I want you to give us a little hint, because this is Bombshell, a major publisher, about the Nazi element, the occultic Germanic death cult nature of all of this. But before we do that, right now, what is most important on Jim Mars's mind?
I think what's most important is to not become trapped in the matrix woven by the electronic media, to where all you can think about and debate is Obama said that and Hillary said this and they countered with this and they did that. That's just distraction.
Yes.
Again, the people behind the curtain, the people that are really running the show, they control all three of the major candidates, and there are other candidates, but you never hear about them. That is control over the media and over the information.
Well, I agree with you. I liken it to World War II, where they put out fake tanks and blow up, Jeeps and things to fool the enemy about troop movements. That's all Hillary, Obama, and Bush is they're decoys out there to get everybody focused on it.
Distractions. That's just distractions. What we need to be concentrating on, and if there was a real news media, they would be focusing on this, and instead of day-to-day headlines about some celebrity or sports event or whatever, which is all fine and good, but there needs to be a concentration on real news, and that has to do with government concentration, the immense power of the pharmaceutical corporations. In fact, according to the Center for Public Integrity, Osama bin Laden and Hillary Clinton both are the largest recipients of campaign contributions from the pharmaceutical corporations. No wonder they're talking about a national health care plan that will require you to buy all of these drugs that the big farm is putting out. And when you go back and look, and this will be covered in some detail in my new book that's coming out at the end of June, you have to go back and look at the Nazi origins of these pharmaceutical corporations.
It's amazing.
And that's another story there. This is one of the biggest stories not going reported. One of the things that most people in America today are truly concerned about are these school shootings and teen suicides. There's always some big hoorah every time something like that happens, and yet they talk about guns and they talk about the educational standards, and they talk about everything except the true cause, which is psychotropic drugs.
Well, I mean, I've never seen a case where a woman chops off her baby's arms or drives them into a river, or you have a mass shooter. They're always into weird death cults, goth. They're always on Prozac or a mixture of serotonin reuptake inhibitors. They're always shoot-'em-up video game obsessions. They almost always have a dad who's in Air Force mind control or in NASA mind linguistics. In fact, I interrupted you with the break. Go back to McCain and mind control, then let's get into mind control.